Cordelia cruise ship has now arrived in Mumbai. The BMC team is there for screening. And on the ship, 66 people have been detected positive. They will be advised to do an RT-PCR along with the RT-PCR test of the remaining passengers on board before disembarking at the Green Gate. Till they get their report, they will not be allowed to disembark. For positive patients, ambulance will be sent at the Green Gate to shift to two hotels that have been earmarked, Richardson as well as Crudus or other paid hotels. BMC has arranged 5 ambulances of 17 seats each. That's the latest information that we have as of this moment. Saurabh Gupta now joins us live with all the latest. Saurabh, this is all the information that I read out which you gave of this ship now reaching, and what are the arrangements that have been made. Are these all the arrangements that have been made, or will they also be given an option, free of cost to stay in one of the centers prepared by the BMC, isolation wards?
Well, there are two options. Firstly, when it comes to quarantine, and that is, of course, one is if they turn positive, they can be sent to the Richardson and Crudus Jumbo COVID Center, which is free of cost, or they can choose to go to any other place, which of course they will have to pay for. The second thing is nobody is going to be allowed to disembark. Currently, the ship has docked at Mumbai at the International Cruise Terminal, but everyone on board is going to undergo an RT-PCR test. Labs have already, been sent there, and lab officials are already collecting samples. And only once those test reports come in, which is by about 9 o'clock in the morning tomorrow, will they be allowed to disembark. And then, of course, depending on what the results are, they will be allowed to go. Now, this was a ship that sailed from Mumbai. It landed in Goa. In Goa, also, passengers were not allowed to disembark because of the, COVID cases on board. So the ship sailed back to Mumbai. The BMC made these arrangements upon, the ship arriving at Mumbai. It arrived at around 6 o'clock this evening. But the passengers on the ship, on the Cordelia cruise, will have to spend another night on board till, of course, the RT-PCR test sample reports come in. So that's what the plan of action is there as far as the BMC is concerned. The ambulances are already inside. Those who test positive straight away will be shifted. Those who test negative will have to undergo a 7-day home isolation as well.
Saurabh, would also want to know from you, once this is done, the point is that I'm sure there must be other places also being identified, this is one such cruise. What are the arrangements that have been made for passengers who are coming in like this?
Well, one presumes that while the passengers are on the ship, they are, of course, in a reasonably comfortable surrounding, and they're isolated on the ship itself. The cruise ship has several rooms, and they'll be isolated in their own rooms if they've tested positive. Now, apart from that, this is one of the biggest cruises. There are about 2,000 people, 2,000 odd people on board the ship. It's one of the biggest cruise ships sailing out of Mumbai. And at this point, for the future, what arrangements are to be made, will these cruises be allowed, is something that, again, the civic authorities really haven't decided on. Anyways, only fully vaccinated people are allowed to board the ship. At this point, though, the ship itself is something that is, being handled as a health, situation where several people have tested positive on board. So the BMC has those labs that have already been assigned, personnel have been assigned to collect the samples. Till 9 o'clock, nobody gets to leave the ship. And of course, other arrangements that are being looked at. For example, if you want to, isolate at a paid facility, then of course you can do that. Or you can go to the Jumbo COVID Center at the Richardson and Crudus, premises in Baikala. So these are options that are being given to those on board. And one presumes that, most of the people on the cruise, the passengers on the cruise, are of course people who are reasonably well off and may well choose to actually, go to one of the paid centers or hospitals. But otherwise, the BMC will provide the Richardson and Crudus Center for them.
All right. Saurabh Gupta, many thanks for joining us with all the latest.